All right. Okay. So we are in class number 3, Toxic Free Living, and I am excited about this. I feel like the more I learn about all the toxins around us, I've been aware of it in food for a long time, but not quite as much in just, our household daily stuff. So we're going to jump in and talk about that there. All right. So for all the stuff that we're exposed to, like every day, there are 2 major sources. One are our household cleaning products, and the other one is our personal care products, stuff that actually goes on our body. So let me read this quote here first. While some companies make products that are safe to eat, other companies choose to use known human carcinogens or developmental toxins like coal tar and lead acetate. When risky chemicals are used in cosmetics, the stakes are high. These are not trace contaminants like those found in part per million or even part per billion levels in food and water. These are the base ingredient of the product, just as flour is an ingredient in bread. These chemicals are found in percent levels in personal care products. Nearly all easily penetrate the skin, and some we ingest directly from our lips and our hands. So, just going through this, I know they've done a lot of surveys on just the stuff that's inside your house, and they say on average, adults use 9 products that contain around 126 ingredients, usually chemicals, every day. So that's a lot of fragrances, chemicals, different things that kind of coat our body or our skin, and they're absorbed or we breathe them in, and just kind of putting all those things inside our bodies, whether you're intentional or unintentional, can lead to a lot of buildup and things that cause long-term problems. So this year we just barely had like a leadership retreat with doTERRA, and there was one of the speakers was a nurse, and she talked about her daughter who had a bunch of respiratory problems. They had taken her to the doctor and all these places to try to figure out what it was, tried different medications. They couldn't figure it out. And then somebody offered her oils, and she kind of laughed and just said, I told her no, and was almost offended that she would like know as much as I know. And then she said that 3 years later, after finding no answers, they started trying everything, and that's when they tried oils. And what she realized was that there were things she was doing every single day in her house that was actually causing the respiratory problems that her daughter had. She talked about coming downstairs and lighting candles every day for ambiance, and plugging in all of her wall fragrance things, and then having like the special powder for your carpet so everything smells nice. And she just went on, and she just said that when she started looking into the ingredients of these things, that's when she found out that they were causing a lot of the breathing problems they were having and stuff. And so they eliminated that in order to be able to make sure she was not having the same problems from that. And that's when things started to clean up, and she finally started to get better. And so I've just been thinking, with a world where our food and all the things around us can have all these like kind of bad forms of estrogen and different chemicals in it, and it's just hard to know what's about us. The more that you can intentionally clean out of your life and replace with natural substitutes that are just as effective, the less chemical toxins that you're going to be in contact with every single day. There's a certain amount that you just can't avoid through the way our food is and everything is around us and our air. But there are a lot of things that we can do to take steps at home, especially to be clearing these things out so that they're not like constantly at play in our everyday lives. So here is the first set of things we're going to talk about, our personal care type things, and just making the swap for which one. So I'll show this slide again at the end so you can look at it in more detail, but we're going to talk about each of these individually. So the first one is toothpaste. So if you grab your toothpaste, I did actually have an old one. If you grab your toothpaste, on the back, it actually has a warning that says, keep out of reach of children under 6 years of age. If more than used for brushing is accidentally swallowed, get medical help or contact a poison control center right away. So I got it out just to actually see it myself. And there's a warning right here that says that up there somewhere. So I know that you've been using fluoride for years, and most people don't worry about it, but it is a poison for your body, even though it might make your teeth whiter or stronger or whatever. So I just think that's kind of interesting that it has that on there. And the other thing I think is interesting is that there are no ingredients on this bottle of toothpaste. I don't know if it was on the box, but it's not with the tube anymore. you'd have to go to Crest to look it up. So I thought that was interesting also. So let's see. So using too much fluoride is actually, I mean, besides the fact that it's kind of a form of poison, it is actually not good and can damage your enamel after, long periods of time. And then colors and food dyes and artificial flavorings are in all those toothpastes. So they've come out with this On Guard toothpaste. doTERRA came out with this a few years ago. So the one on my screen, actually I haven't swapped out the picture yet, is the one that we've had for years, and it is awesome. And the ingredients in this new one are similar, but it has a couple new ingredients that are even better mixed in with it. And then they just tweak the taste a little bit, because the old one has a very cinnamony taste. And like my kids, for example, would be like, Mom, it's too hot. So they didn't love it. And this one they love. So I have a friend also who was telling me about how her kids' teeth were kind of like that translucent yellow. And she said that she started using this toothpaste on her, and that she noticed her teeth kind of got more yellow, but it was like pulled it out or something. And then after a few more weeks, they started looking whiter and whiter, but losing that translucent look and looking more like white and stuff. So I thought that was really interesting. All of my kids have switched over to this now, which was really hard. They wouldn't do that before with the other one. For some reason, it was a little bit too much oil in it, I guess, or cinnamon. But so this one, they've added wintergreen, so it has more of a toothpastey taste. It has xylitol, which is really good for sweetening things, but also really good for your teeth. And then there were a couple other things. I think the hydrated silica is really good for your gums. And then it has peppermint in there to freshen your breath, myrrh to strengthen your gums, and different, like with the wintergreen and stuff. So this one does not have fluoride in it. And the texture is very different. So I've been using this for, let's see, I think they came out with it in January, and all of my kids, we all like it. The taste is really good, and it has a different texture. When they first introduced it, I mean, I did really like my old Crest. When they first introduced it, I didn't like the texture. I feel like I didn't really give it a fair chance. I tried it once or twice and was like, I'll just come back to this one later. And sometimes with some products, you have to do that. And so I finished the tube I was working on, and then I switched over. And now that I've used it, I can't go back to the other stuff. Like if I have to borrow some from somebody, you like can feel the plastic beadlets in it, and it just feels so weird and different. And so anyhow, I do really love this one. If you get it, be sure you give it like a fair shot. Use the whole tube of it, because I feel like I didn't really give it a fair shot in the beginning. I wish I had. And now I totally love it. I don't want the other stuff. I won't use it again, no matter what. I also want to point out that they have an On Guard mouthwash. It's not on my slide, but same thing. You look in your mouthwash, and it will usually have, like with their Listerine and whatever, it'll have like clove, and it'll have peppermint essential oil in it. But lots of times they have other ingredients that aren't great. So they also have an On Guard mouthwash that you can swap your mouthwash out with. I think that these couple are some of the most important products to swap out first, if you're game to do that. So deodorant is another one, and especially antiperspirant. Antiperspirant has like aluminum, a couple different kinds of aluminum in it, aluminum chlorohydrate or aluminum zirconium. And what that does is that's what's in antiperspirant. So deodorant is kind of like the masking of a BO smell, body odor smell. Antiperspirant is like the stopping of it. And so what it does is it actually like plugs your lymph node, like the pores in your armpit, so that they can't sweat. So I don't know if this has any red flags for anybody else, but for me, I'm like, oh, isn't that bad? But so your armpits are right where some of your lymph nodes are, and it's just a really natural place for your body to be cleansing stuff out. And so we do know what body's odor smells like. It's not the worst odor in the world. Sometimes it's a little bit much, but anyway, the antiperspirants have this aluminum, and it kind of plugs things up. So one thing I've learned, as I did use antiperspirant in college and stuff, and on and off, throughout my life, because my mom would be like, really, you want deodorant? And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd be like, no, really, I want antiperspirant. What I found that is when you make the switch and you get off of the antiperspirant, your body has stored some of that aluminum inside like your armpits and those glands and stuff. And as it sucks that up, it has to put it somewhere. And so your body's going to want to cleanse that out if you stop using it and let your body naturally, have that sweat come out, which it's not as horrible as you think. But I will warn you that if you switch over, that the first couple weeks is kind of bad because your body is cleansing. And I don't know if they do that on purpose so that people will like never stop using their product because they stop and they think, oh my gosh, I smell so bad. I can't go without this. Like I reek. But you'll smell bad because your body is just detoxing that stuff. So what I want to tell you is it won't last forever. You'll smell bad for a week or two. Maybe not everybody, but some people will. And as long as you're using deodorant, you're going to be okay. Shower a little more often, and then know that once that's cleansed out of your body, I don't know, it's just a different game for some reason. I work out a lot. I feel like I put on deodorant. I go through deodorant like crazy, you guys. It's ridiculous because I usually get some on in the morning and then I go teach and then I shower and then I get some on at night. And if I do anything else like swim in the summer, I'm putting it on again. But I did experiment with a lot of different natural deodorants. You really just want to make sure it doesn't have that aluminum and look through the ingredients to make sure they're good ingredients. So doTERRA's is made with like an arrowroot powder and tapioca starch. And then it has oils in it. They'll have a little bit of coconut oil and shea butter and things like that that are hydrating. But they all have non-toxic ingredients. They're all baking soda free. Actually, are they all baking soda free? Maybe just this one because this is a sensitive one. And then aluminum free. All of them are aluminum free, paraben free, and they don't have artificial fragrance. They just have the oils in them. So I'm not sure about the baking soda. Does anybody know that? The baking soda might be in the other ones, but it might not. I think they use arrowroot instead. Open the chat and make sure I'm not wrong on that. Okay. So they have a balanced one, and then the Douglas fir and the Greek orange, and then is the citrus bliss. I'm not sure if that's part of our normal line, but that's one they've had, and they'll come out with special variations of it. Like they came out with a beautiful one that are just for special temporary things like Mother's Day. Sometimes they come out with a citrus bloom one that smells really, really good. But these are a great thing to switch out, and I highly recommend it because this is like right by all these vital organs, and right in your body. So take the plunge. Try a natural deodorant. Pick your favorite one. The Balance is more like a woodsy grounding one. The Douglas fir and orange actually smells really good. It's my favorite, and they're both wonderful. The Citrus Bliss, I'm sure, smells good too. I didn't have one of those on hand, but try that out. Give it a couple weeks for your body to kind of detox that out, and you will notice you just don't smell as bad. I mean, normal BO order, you can totally smell it, but you put on a little deodorant and you don't smell it anymore. And let your body cleanse that out in a natural way. That's one of our ways of getting things out of our body that has been stored or whatever. And so it's good to leave those pores open so that they can declog and detox and everything. Okay, the regular ones do have baking soda in them, and then the sensitive ones don't, because I know, like for me, I get a little bit of redness with the baking soda for some reason, so I prefer the sensitive ones with the arrowroot powder. So if you have sensitive skin, you can try the sensitive one or try the Balance or get them both. So, all right, deodorant. Then moving on to our shampoo and conditioner. So they sell them in these little bottles, but also these, when you got 4 girls in the household, you're gonna want these big ones. Shampoo and conditioner are another one that's like right here by your head where your brain is. If you think about the fact that everything that you put on your skin is absorbed pretty quickly inside your skin and inside your body, it kind of causes you to look closer. So one of the big culprits in a lot of these natural products, especially stuff that makes your hair foam or your soap foam, is sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and it will be listed in there. So there's different versions of sodium lauryl stuff, but the sulfate is the one that's just really toxic and not good for you. So you want to find a shampoo and conditioner that don't have those. Now, these are ones, so what's funny is that my parents have always been a lot more into natural things. So they've given me tons of shampoos and conditioners to try, and I've always been very picky about them. This is the first one that I've really liked, and not just liked, but I just love it. It's so awesome. It smells amazing. And they barely reformulated it. So I'm not sure if they're keeping this line and adding the other one. We'll have to see. But sometimes it's hard to find the right combination of ingredients that are natural because so many of them have preservatives in them. And the preservatives are often kind of like a form of poison because it's supposed to prolong the life. So they just put a tiny bit in, but the shelf life, if it's forever once it's opened, usually there's stuff in there that's not that great for you. So, but then again, it's hard to find a product that will get moldy on you. So I know they spend a lot of time to come up with a shampoo and conditioner, but they've announced that they've come up with like even a cleaner version of it. And so that's what they're going to be adding soon. And I'm hoping it's available in the summer from what I remember. I did have people on our team get, I guess if you check your email from doTERRA, they look for volunteers sometime and they'll send you samples so you can be part of the test group. So Ashley Olson in our group, I was texting her about how there was a new shampoo conditioner. She was like, oh, I tried it. And I thought, what? And so her mom got chosen. And so they got to try it. But she said she really liked it, said that the conditioner had a lot of peppermint and felt really good. Anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. So that's coming out soon. I do really love this one. I kind of hope they keep both. But another one, just right on your hair, right on your head, shampoo, conditioner, make sure you're looking at those ingredients and looking up the things that you don't know. Usually there's kind of a lot. So it's good to start recognizing which ones are good and which ones aren't. I would also point out that anytime anything says fragrance in it, when they use the word fragrance, they don't have to disclose what's actually in there. And it could be anything up to 300 different ingredients. And they don't actually have to write what they are, because if it was like essential oils, they would put that, they'd be proud of that and put it on there. But when it's fragrance, lots of times that's masking something. So it's kind of a red flag when you see that, or if they don't disclose what the ingredients are at all, I would say that's another red flag too. Like, why aren't you telling us what's in it? Like with the toothpaste, I think, you know, there's enough space on this tube where they could put the ingredients, but they choose not to. And so in my mind, that's kind of a red flag too. You got to go searching for it and see what's in there. And then if you get a headaches with strong smells, often it's because of the synthetic stuff that's in that fragrance part, you know, because our nose knows what those chemicals smell like, and it just turns you off, but every now and then it will cause headaches and stuff. Those things that are just made up in laboratories can be very toxic sometimes. So if you get smells that bother you, usually it's because there's something chemical and synthetic in there. So anyhow, they do lots of times have preservatives to keep them stable and stuff like that. So this shampoo conditioner is great for colored hair, treated hair, you know, repairing heat damage and things like that. It's a really good all around one. Okay, and the next one is your skincare. Same thing, right on your face, absorbed in, and just what's in there. So one of the things I really love about the Virage one, and I kind of grabbed them here, is that the ingredient list is not super long. A lot of these are so long that you know, need to spend a few hours looking them all up. And then a lot of these have essential oils in them too. So they actually have two lines of essentials of skincare. And we're going to go more into depth into all those ingredients in another class by itself. But this line is really their pure line. It took them a lot longer to be able to create this one and to make it stable enough without any of like the toxic ingredients. But the cool thing about these is they all have the really high quality oils that are so good for skin. So like this hydrating serum has the Hawaiian sandalwood, frankincense, lavender, myrrh, helichrysum, and rose oil. And then let's see what another one has. This is their moisturizer. That one's a lot harder to read. That one has juniper berry, barley. Let's see, not oil, just extract. Jasmine, absolute, geranium, and then shea butter and other things. That one doesn't have as many oils in it. Let's see. And then their spray has cypress, coriander, palmarosa, and their wash also has melaleuca, basil, wild orange. So they all have a lot of oils in them and stuff. It has a face wash, that's this one right here, a toner spray, and then their hydrating serum. And this is supposed to just help, you know, with the fine lines and your how much your skin pops back, and then moisturizer. Anyhow, those are the four. The other one's called the Essential Skincare, and that one has an eye cream and a couple different things that I really love too, but we'll go into those deeper. So yeah, preservatives by their nature, they're cytotoxic. So in other words, they can kill good cells. So even if it has like a low level of preservatives, it's like, you know, just letting a little bit of poison in there. So it's nice to have ones that don't have those toxins in it. Oh, let's see. So yeah, anyway, this is skincare right on your face. I think it's amazing. I actually use both of them. I just kind of go through different bottles and replace them with whatever I have, but I really love them. They feel really good on your skin. And then next we'll go to the household products and swapping out those things. So when you're cleaning your products, it's better to use simple ingredients and things that aren't like putting toxins in the air as you're spraying them and stuff. And then many things we clean with are irritants for your skin, your eyes, or your lungs. And so swapping them out with just simple and effective things can be very helpful. So we'll go through and talk about these. So for your household products, doTERRA has their own concentrate cleaner. And this is super concentrated. You can do 2 tablespoons of 24 ounces of water for like an all-purpose cleaner, or 3 tablespoons in a gallon for like your dishes and stuff. Bathrooms, 3 tablespoons and 24 ounces. And actually you can make soap out of this too. This has a whole 5 ml bottle of On Guard in it, which contains your cinnamon and your clove and peppermint and all the things that are like super great at killing bacteria without causing any kind of damage because they're natural. So it's non-toxic, it's biodegradable, so it's environmentally friendly. And with this, you can kind of swap out almost all the cleaners in your house. For windows, I highly recommend the Norwex Rags. Those are antibacterial too, and they actually work really well. I think they work better on windows than using Windex. But everything that can spray and stuff, it's just kind of leaving a little bit of what's in them. They put stuff in them like chemical pesticide type things to kill things. I mean, they're known to kill bugs, but you don't really want them in your house necessarily. And so this is a good substitute that's just got the all natural. And the nice thing about On Guard is with the natural cinnamon and rosemary and things, cinnamon, orange, eucalyptus, rosemary, and clove, they are naturally, you know, have their own variation in nature, so that it's hard for them to become like, bacteria won't become resistant to them ever because of just the way it works in nature. So that's great for all of your other cleaning needs. And then their soap comes in a large bottle. This is a foaming soap, so when you put it in a little hand foamer soaper things, a little bit goes a long way. It kind of lasts forever. So the known toxins in soap that are actual toxic carcinogens, that usually has triclosan or microban or other names, that you'll find sodium lauryl sulfate in a lot of the soaps and stuff. But you can use hand soaps that doesn't have like insecticides type stuff in it. A lot of the hand soaps out there that are super antibacterial or whatever actually kill all the bacteria, but you have good and bad bacteria like we talked about last week. So you don't want to kill off the good bacteria, just, you know, the ones that can spread germs. And so this is a good way to do it, because with the natural thing, it kills off the bad bacteria and it kind of supports your immune system by not killing off the good bacteria. So there's been people that have spoken out about this lately, especially because our world changed so much to a disinfectant world where they wanted to spray and disinfect everything. If you're reading the local news lately, they've been talking about the poison that's come from the disinfectants and all the things they've been doing that's kind of been overkill in airplanes and transportation stuff. So all that stuff, especially I think in an airplane, you're kind of trapped in there breathing it if they're really cleaning it that often. And they did come out and talk about how the viruses don't really spread on hard surfaces like they were kind of thought to a year ago. So it's good to just have the natural things that will kill off any of the bad bacteria, but not damage, you know, your immune system and the good bacteria that you have, even on your hands and in your skin. So, because it is absorbed. So that On Guard soap is awesome too. And they used to come in 2-pack. I know that we were short on them and they were like limiting how many you could buy, but I'm pretty sure you could probably buy them in a 2-pack again. But it's a good deal on your LRP. That one's cheaper as well, especially if you can get the 2-pack. So, okay, I'm looking at comments. Yeah, I think they're not reformulating with the skincare. What they've had a problem with, the biggest part, is the bottling for some reason. They say they have the product, they just can't get the bottling done. So I know that they were updating the design on some of the formulas for the essential skincare, and I had heard that they were supposed to be back by the end of April. So I've been kind of waiting to see when it comes back. But lately, the bottling has been the issue with some of the products, where they've been on back order for a month or two until they've, you know, been able to get back to fixing that problem, getting more of the supply chain. So, and then On Guard for cleaning kitchen services, especially because you're eating on there. That's nice to, yeah, keep it clean and kill it all off, kill off all the bad stuff. So, all right. And then of course, you know, your air freshener type things. Candles especially, my daughter did like one of those. I have those old wax things for like sealing letters where you can drip it and like smash your symbol on it. I used to like that in high school. So she was trying to do that the other day, and it was just amazing what was floating around in the air. I mean, it's not even like a real candle, it's just this teeny tiny thing, and I could see these black things floating. And I just feel like that's a huge place where you're just putting random things that are in the candle in the air. So whether it's romantic, it might be romantic, but it's not usually worth the cost of the toxins that are in the wax and the lead and stuff that's in there. And then the ones that plug into the wall also full of a lot of chemical fragrances and stuff. So the nice thing that you replace it with is a diffuser. We've talked a bunch about them. You know, you put your water in and then you can drop in as many oils as you want. Usually they don't need a lot, 2 or 3. You can do more. You can blend them for whatever mood you're in and do calming ones or like energy boosting ones. This also actually helps with like cleaning your air environment, because when you're putting it out in tiny molecules, it's going to help purify your air, but then it will help your mood and help lift everything around you too, without having like any of the pollution and stuff. And so kind of everybody wins. One thing I noticed with diffusing, and I mentioned this before, is that if you diffuse the same oil all the time, you'll like not really notice it anymore. So it's good to switch that up. And then you'll be able to smell it. 'Cause usually the first couple times you do it, you can smell it, but then after that, it just starts to blend. But if people come over, they'll be like, wow, you've been diffusing oils, huh? And a lot of people say that when they walk into my house, they'll be like, oh, your house smells like oils. And I think, well, we like oils here, but usually nobody complains. And lots of times I do have a sister-in-law that has really sensitive reactions to anything, any kind of fragrance. But what's interesting is with oils, she doesn't have that same reaction. And I really think that a lot of us react to the chemicals and the synthetics in there, and it's not necessarily the smell. It's the fact that it's not natural. So the next thing is your laundry detergent. This is actually the last big thing we'll talk about. We want to make sure that we're actually cleaning our clothes and not masking them with fragrances. And I kind of think this is funny. I feel like I've gone through this laundry cycle myself, because we had some LG, or I don't even remember what kind they were, but some, new high energy washing machine. I want to say they were Maytags. And they weren't necessarily front loaders. One was a top loader, but it didn't have an agitator, and it would just fill up, but not fill up all the way. It would just drip water on there. Anyway, I just felt like my washing machine smelled bad all the time. It made me crazy. I thought this whole energy thing is like, leaving water around to a point that it kind of stinks. And so I'd have to like wash my washing machine every now and then. And I wasn't using the On Guard detergent quite as much back then, but I switched out my washer and dryer because I noticed that after a while my clothes started smelling like, the dirty washing machine. And then all of a sudden they had posts on Facebook about like stripping your clothes, where you put your clothes in the bathtub with a ton of like baking soda and borax and things to like really clean them. And so I did that, and I swear it made everything like browner, like it brought it to the surface instead of getting out of the clothes. And I thought, this is kind of ridiculous. And that's when I feel like I just didn't even think about the laundry detergent for some reason. So that's when I realized I hadn't been using doTERRAs. I've been using a different kind. And then the other thing that I think is interesting is if you use too much, it almost doesn't wash out of your clothes, especially with the new energy efficient stuff. So if you're using too much laundry detergent and you have an energy efficient washer, then you're wearing that detergent most of the time right on your skin. And so same thing with their fragrances and all the stuff they have in the laundry detergent. I just had taught this class and realized that I hadn't switched that out. So I went ahead and switched that out too. With the On Guard, you can use a super small amount. This whole thing is 6 times concentrated. So it'll do up to 64 loads. So I've actually started using like probably like a fifth of the amount of laundry detergent, maybe less than I was using before. And I feel like, and I bought a new washer and dryer because the other ones were really bad, you guys. If you ever buy a new washer and dryer, Speed Queens are the best. I swear by them now. I've tried a couple and they have just cleaned my clothes the best, and they have newer ones. So you make sure you get the one that has the transmission wheel, and it cleans them like you're going to a laundromat or something. So anyway, so I switched that out, and then I've been doing the On Guard, and I feel like it's made such a difference in my clothes. They don't have that like little stink that you feel like you're masking up. I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else has that problem, but I swear after a while, some of those whites, you're like, the smell doesn't go away. So instead of masking it, it strips it out, cleans it out. These have these great little measuring cups and there's a couple lines on them, but really in your measuring cup, you're only filling it to like here for a load. And so this just lasts kind of forever. Anyway, so that's their laundry detergent. Also, every one of these has a 10 mil amount of doTERRA On Guard oil in it. So it'll also kill any bacteria and stuff. And then there's some people that like to add other oils to their laundry, which you're totally welcome to do. Just make sure that when you're adding an oil, you don't want to add an oil that has any fractionated coconut oil in it. And pretty much the only one that comes to mind is the Balance. So I love Balance. I did put in my laundry a little bit, and I started noticing little like dots on my clothes, and it's because that coconut oil will leave a mark. So only use pure oils that don't have the fractionated coconut in it. Our favorites to use are Purify and Citrus Bliss. And then same thing with your dryer. The dryer sheets are like one of my vices in life. I just want to not have static ever. And so I have cut them out of all of my laundry except for like one load that I put like a fourth of it in. But for the most part, I know it's not good. It covers everything in like an anti-clinging thing, but then you literally have a layer of something on all of your clothes. And the other thing that I've recently learned is that if you use it at all, it stays on the dryer, so it kind of gets on everything. So if you can get away from those, that's a huge one too. And if you really have the static problem, I finally invested in a bunch of wool dryer balls, and you can drip your oils right on there. So we do Citrus Bliss and Purify on those too, and throw them in the dryer with it, and that makes a big difference. Of course, hanging them dry is a really great way to take care of your clothes too. And then for adding extra things like for fabric softener, you can use a little bit of white vinegar. As a lot of people like to do. What else do they do in it? You guys probably know. Okay, Purify. I know you can do white vinegar and just some oils. Oh, baking soda. So you can do baking soda and Purify in your wash, and then the white vinegar can help with the softness, and then the dryer balls in the laundry so you can ditch your dryer sheets. So, or hang your clothes dry. So workout clothes, look at Anita's workout clothes are still get to still stink forever. You know what? My workout clothes don't stink anymore. Now they're starting using On Guard. You should try it. You probably already do, but if it's not the On Guard, then might be your washer dryer. I'm just saying, putting it out there. The good news is my old washer dryer, I sold it on Facebook, and I like felt bad selling it. I'm like, this is crap. I don't want to give this to somebody. And so I priced it a little bit higher than I wanted to sell it, but it was gone in like 10 minutes. Like for some reason, there's a shortage on washer dryers, and they've been selling really fast. But if they're still stinking, I would try to get a new washer dryer if you haven't tried. I mean, obviously the On Guard detergent is going to be a little bit cheaper than the washer dryer. So try that first, and make sure you give it a couple of rounds, because what it's first going to do is it's going to pull it on out to the surface, and then it's going to be getting it out of your clothes instead of like masking it. So if they don't smell great the first round, give it another round. Actually, mine smelled fine, but I remember the very first time I used it thinking like, I don't know if this smells better, but you have to give it a chance to actually like, get it all out of the fibers and stuff that it's been holding on to. Okay, and then I found this, one of the girls used this in her slide, and I really loved it. The responsibility is no single drop of water thinks it's responsible for the flood. And just kind of saying where this stuff is all around us. Like if you use one thing here and there, it's really not that big of a deal. But the problem is it's become a way of our life. So if you think of deodorant and facial stuff, you put that on 2 times a day, 365 days a year. And that's where the flood's going to be. That's where the chemicals cause problems in the long run. And so if you can just go swapping these things out, even one at a time, even just little baby steps, hitting more and more, then you're gonna, just clear out some of the big repetitiveness of the chemicals that are in your everyday life. So I would challenge you to go back and look. Actually, I have a couple of tips, and then I'll go back through so you can see all of them. With the text and with the emails that you got, there's a link to overview, so you can see these in a place where you can write on them if you want. But some tips for success is I would recommend starting to swapping out things with your body first, stuff that's touching your body. So like your deodorant, especially facial stuff, toothpaste, the things everything. Lip balm, maybe we should put lip balm on here too. The amount of lip balm I consume is kind of insane. So making sure it's good ingredients and whatever you're putting on your body, one step at a time. And then just do little you know, one thing at a time, just try little things and go through and swap it out. Now, doTERRA is doing a big push this month or next month where they're going to have some webinars where they're actually going to walk through houses and swap them out all at once. So that's another thing you can look for. And then the other cool thing is a lot of these products are direct from nature. They're very pure. And so they often work better. I remember once cleaning windows like years ago before doTERRA, and my mother-in-law saying like, well, if you clean windows so many times with Windex, it actually leaves more marks if you keep using Windex, and you just need to use water and clean the window off really good. And I thought, oh, that's so weird. The cleaning detergent can like make it cloudy, you know? And so I started using water in between, and that made a huge difference. And now that I have these other rags, the Norwex rags are really awesome for that, where you just wipe it with a wet one, wipe it with a dry one, and it's better than any kind of detergent that I use on it. So a lot of times they are really cleaner. If all else fails and you don't have On Guard, you can always turn to a citrus oil. Those are all very antiviral, antibacterial. And then one that's actually really good is the Slim and Sassy. It smells nice. It has citruses in it, but it also has like cinnamon and things that will just kill any bacteria quickly, kind of. But you can just try any of the oils to clean with, especially the citrus. Those are the ones that are like, you know, power packed every time. And then these ones will work better. So any questions? Oh, I guess I have one or two more. Here's the overview slides. So here's the personal care ones that we talked about. You know, do deodorant, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, and skincare. I really want them to come out with like a makeup remover, you know. I know you can use fractionated coconut oil, but I would love something, I don't know, with a little bit of oils in it. And then the household ones here, making the swap, your cleaner for everything, On Guard hand wash, diffusers for your air, and then the laundry detergent, and then mouthwash and stuff too. And here's a quick example of an Lrp order. So a couple prices on here, the essential shampoo and conditioner. So when you're buying shampoo and conditioner, make sure you look at the different ways they offer them, because they have Lrp bonuses, and it's cheaper than just buying it right out, where kind of like you'll get 2 for 1 of the price if you get it on Lrp versus not. So there's a double pack. I really think the cheapest way to get it is a double pack of shampoo and the double pack of conditioner. But they also sell them with a shampoo and conditioner. But I think the 2-pack for some reason comes out a tiny bit less expensive. So the shampoo conditioner is $28. On Guard Clean It Concentrates $14.50. Toothpaste is $8.50. Sanitizing is $6.50. The skin care set is $84.50. And those sets are always going to be a little bit less expensive than broken out. And then the Purify is $20. So where they have their dollar and their PV on the other side, the dollar sign is how much it costs. That's where they calculate the points off of for the PV. And so this order would be $162. You would get your free oil of the month because it's over $125 as long as you place it before the 15th. This month it is a lime oil that you get for free on your Lrp before the 15th. So you got 2 more days if you haven't ordered and you want to get that. And then plus you get the percentage back. So in the beginning you get your 10% back, and then it works all the way up to 30% back. And that is your wellness Lrp box. So any questions on any of that stuff? Any of those wonderfully substituting non-toxic products that I brought up? Or any stories anybody wants to tell about using them? But you don't have to, I mean, I know you have to unmute, and sometimes that's asking a lot, so it's okay if you don't want to.
Well, I just don't clean a lot, so
No.
all of this would be new for me.
There you go. It's true.
Yeah.
True.
My
All right.
mom was on here. She'd be so proud.
Yeah. That is true. Okay, that is totally true. And honestly, I have a confession, because I was thinking, well, I use the concentrate, but not like a ton. But you guys, one of the reasons why I did doTERRA in the beginning was because I didn't want to clean my house. And so I have these wonderful ladies that come clean my house every other week. And I was totally having the realization the other day as I'm preparing for this that like I need to just have them use they use my floor stuff. I need to just create my own doTERRA stuff. And they clean for all these doTERRA people, so I'm sure they wouldn't be surprised. But I was thinking, I like never buy cleaning products because I have my doTERRA stuff and I really don't clean that much. Oh, anyhow. So anything else? Try the laundry detergent. It's awesome. All of it's good. Just start a little bit at a time, swapping them out. You won't regret it. So, okay, so that's our class part. I'm going to dive into a quick overview of business stuff. I will be really fast, like 5 or 6 minutes is all if you want to stick around. If you do have questions, throw them in the chat. If you weren't here at the very beginning, go ahead and make sure you put your name in the chat so I can put you down on our roll for being here. And then Mari can help me with that too. She's wonderful like that. So let's go into the next. So we had talked about like 3 ways of sharing, how you can just refer people and enroll them here and there and get some free oils, or you can enroll friends to cover your order so you get your oils for free, build a team to supplement or replace income. And then I showed the income potential. I'm going to kind of revamp these, I think, because we're going to do these again. And I found some new slides that I like a little bit better. But just to talk a little bit about when we go to present or do like a, class or one-on-one, I like to do one-on-ones because I'm much more of an individual one-on-one person. I also really like to go to lunch and things like that, sit down and talk. But there's different ways that you can meet up with people. We often teach online webinars or we do in-person classes. And so what we do is we give people samples of oils and then, or we can mail them. We'll do online Facebook classes, sometimes mail samples. And then once they have a good experience with the oils, we invite them to a class where we can teach them more about the oils, how they work, where they come from, and how to order them. So when you're hosting a class, we found that the best times to host them are like midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's when you can get the most people that have a minute to come out. If you can give people samples before they come to class so they can have experience with oils before, that's always helpful. A good size class is 6 to 8 people because they don't have like too many people where you can't actually address concerns and questions. And then also keep in mind that not everybody invite is going to be able to come. And then they have tons of scripts and stuff if you don't know what to say. And that's on the dailymentorcalls.com that we kind of talked about last week. You want to call and remind them before class, and you want to text them a couple hours before class. And then when you host your class, you're going to introduce the presenter, where they're from, and why they're worth listening to, who, what kind of knowledge they have. And then just be prepared to help by, sharing your own experiences with oils. We found for classes, eliminating distractions is very important. I used to bring my kids to them and stuff because everybody had kids. And they were still fun classes, but they were pure chaos. It's just hard to hear and lots of crazy. So clean, free, if kids can find a place to play that's out of the area so that you can have people focus on learning, then your class will go a lot quicker. And then diffusing oils just change the environment where people can feel them and feel uplifted. So loving wild orange and peppermint. I always love those. Those are like 2 of my favorite to diffuse because they're just very uplifting. And then we like to provide water where you can drop an oil in the bottle and just taste it, since drinking it in your water is a really good way to do it. And then after class, we usually, this is all before this, but we'd have a refreshment where we could share about sharing oils while they had the refreshments. So that's how we usually host classes. Online, it's been a little bit of a game changer to be able to, have a class with anybody, no matter where they are, because they don't have to come. And that's been kind of fun. And then just being able to use Zoom and stuff. But if you can get them samples before their class so they already have a chance to try them, usually that helps them to know that it's something that can benefit their life. And then for the class, what we do, here's kind of your outline. You've sampled them already. We tell them 3 cool things about essential oils, which we kind of talked about in the first one, where they are pure and natural, they're safe and much more effective than a lot of alternatives. And then the 3 ways to use them are just using them topically, or taking them internally, or diffusing them in the air. And from there, you can show them the kits and help them find the kit that will best fit their own needs. And then you can help them get their account and sign up. And lastly, this is Elise Shetavi, who has put out a lot of the information on how to share oils effectively. Her site's called dailymentorcalls.com. She doesn't actually really, she has stores where she sells stuff, but all of her training is free. So if you're ever interested and you want to learn anything about it, you can go grab an account there, and pretty much she'll just email you if they come out with new things that are usually free. But what's awesome is she's just very entertaining, very exciting, and she is one of the top leaders in doTERRA. She does a lot of great trainings. I think that she makes just an insane amount of money, like over 200,000 a month with all of her leaders. And I'm sure she has millions of people under her. But she's very personable, and she breaks down like every little piece of sharing the oils, making money, inviting people. And she has all kinds of scripts if you don't know what to say for classes and things like that. So if you're interested at all, it's just a really good resource where she has these little like 5 to 20-minute calls, and you can just listen to them one day at a time and learn about it that way if you'd like, or you can let someone else know, whoever invited you. to the continuing education and we can help you get more information on that. So for me, doTERRA has been kind of a lifeline, especially with everything shutting down. I feel like I was able to still work from home without it being a problem. I feel like a lot of people already had their accounts, so I didn't have to work for a couple months while everything was a little bit confusing. And it's just been a very big blessing. And then I feel like in this world where the monetary money is kind of all over the place right now, I've been, just investing and putting away the oils that I use the most because I feel like for me, they're very valuable. I don't ever want to be without them if they have a shortage again. I want to make sure I have a little bit of backup of whatever products I use the most. So it's just greatly affected my life and blessed my life. And then also I've met really amazing people through doTERRA. So and that's all I have for you guys tonight. So thank you for coming. I don't see any other questions, so I'll just wrap on up. And then next week, I don't remember what we're talking about. Does anybody else remember what's next week? But I can look really fast. Maybe. Go ahead, Mari, if you know it, shout it on out. Week.
Is it oils for young and old?
Oh, I think it is.
I think
Oils
so.
for young and old.
On the little ticket, that's
So just a good overview on oils next week and just using them at different stages of your life. Perfect. So I will send out another reminder email. If you want a reminder text, let me know. And if you already got one, then you're already on my list. If you didn't get one and you want one, then you can go ahead and either email me back or let me know and I can add you so you get the reminder text. And that's all. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night and I will see you next week. All right, bye. And I did record it, so yay. Okay, bye.